This past weekend, Elvis Presley would have turned 88 years old, but there's another big anniversary coming for the King of Rock and Roll. This Saturday marks 50 years since the concert seen around the world, the iconic TV special Elvis, ALOHA from Hawaii. And here to help celebrate this anniversary is Elvis Presley tribute concert producer and Elvis mega fan, Eddie Stevens. Good morning to you.
Let's go live to our Mega Doppler 7000. Come on, Dallas Reigns is a hero. I had to do that. Dallas, I love you, brother.
We're here to talk about Elvis.
Well, Dallas is kind of the Elvis of ABC, so it's fine.
Okay. Let's talk about the ALOHA special. I mean, this is incredible. On January 14th, 1973, right? Go back to that date and how significant it was.
Well, I can't go back because I wasn't born yet, but it was the first concert sent around the world live via satellite. Had never been done before, never really been done since. Of course, we have other technology to do that with now that they didn't have then. But this was something that Elvis could do because he wasn't touring around the world. So they brought the world to him, as you saw in the film earlier this year, and he was able to see his fans around the world.
And to help visually, for people to remember the ALOHA special, he wore something specific, right? His outfit is definitely one to remember.
So it's known as the iconic white jumpsuit to the casual Elvis fan. The rest of us know it as the ALOHA Hawaii from Hawaii jumpsuit. And it was something that Elvis wanted to do to wear to say, I'm from the United States of America. I want you to know what we're about. And so when he went to his costume designers, he says, make me something that's going to say America. So he did the ALOHA from Hawaii jumpsuit, and I have couple things.
Okay, let's
Are
show
y'all ready for this? Okay, so this is, of course, nothing like what it would have been beautifully like in person, but this is a hoodie, actually.
Nice.
Of what the ALOHA would have looked like.
Yup.
But, ABC viewers, I got something better for you. I have a replica of the jumpsuit belt. Let me pull this up for the camera view. That Elvis would have wore. And Tony, do you want to try to feel the power?
Are you serious? Yes.
I mean, it's sized for me. He's probably going to it's going to fall through him like a hula hoop, probably. But check it out. There you go.
Oh, man.
It's heavy, right?
It's heavy. And this is a replica, right?
This is a replica. I don't know the real one. Now look at Tony. Now center yourself out, buddy. Get the buckle in the middle there. Look at that. Now that's a buckle.
Oh my gosh, this is incredible.
Now, cool thing about that jumpsuit was the original cape went down to his calves, and it was over 13 pounds, and it weighed so much that Elvis couldn't handle it on stage. It was pulling him back. So he had the costume makers go all hands on deck and redo one that was about hip length, that is the one you saw in the special, and that he also threw out into the audience at the end of the special along with the belt.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, you're a self-described Elvis fanatic. I mean, you're one of the biggest fans that I personally know. Tell us about, how you were first introduced to the King of Rock and Roll and why that stuck with you.
Elvis was brought to me at a very young age. I'm still young, it's fine. But I was about 3 years old, and my family and I went to Knott's Berry Farm. We all know and love Knott's Berry Farm. And they would have the stunt show during the day in the wagon camp. In the evening, they had an Elvis impersonator. Back then, they were called impersonators. Now they're Elvis tribute artists. We have to make sure we do it right. And he would do 3 shows a night, every night, 5 nights a week, all summer long. And I got to see Elvis as close as I could live, starting back in 1987, which was 10 years after Elvis passed. And it just stuck. Something grabbed me. And then this is back in the day of VHS tapes. I know we're that old, Tony. And I got the Elvis on Tour VHS tape, which also won a Golden Globe back in those days, from 1972. I got the ALOHA. I got That's the Way It Is. I started collecting the movies. And Elvis just became an everyday part of my life.
As it was for millions of people across the world.
To this day.
But you speak specifically to a West Coast, East Coast view of Elvis nowadays. And that view, the difference in that view, is kind of part of your mission statement, right?
Correct. So if you go to the Midwest or the South, Elvis is still the king. If you go international, Elvis is definitely still the king. When I was lucky enough to tour to Ireland for New Year's Eve a few years back, best fans in the world. Here on the West Coast, unfortunately, Elvis is kind of that parody, caricature, oversized glasses, oversized wig. That's not what Elvis was like. That's not what he was about. So my mission is to bring serious things of Elvis and show people that Elvis is a real person and that he wasn't that parody that we know on the West Coast. And kind of be like the movie and bring new fandom to the West Coast.
You brought up the movie, Austin Butler playing Elvis this past year.
Golden Globe winner, Austin Butler. Get it right.
He won the Golden Globe last night. My producer just told me he just got nominated for a SAG award. I mean,
my boy,
on fire. But that movie, it did help, right? Bring him back to the spotlight, and it showed a whole different view of Elvis to bring him, you were saying, more like you can see the man, not just the performer, right?
It humanized Elvis. To a lot of us, and even the big fans like myself, Elvis is this larger-than-life person, right? He could be as a million feet tall to us, but the movie showed us who he was as a person. He was Elvis Aaron Presley. He wasn't just Elvis. He was a father, he was a husband, he was a performer, he was a friend, he was a confidant. And the movie brought that to light, but also showing people how cool he was. He was the coolest of the cool, and it did successfully bring a new level of fandom worldwide, mind you, to new Elvis fans of all ages and generations. So Baz Luhrmann, bravo, brother.
Yes, and now these nominations, these wins, are going to help even more so going into this,
hopefully,
this year, right?
Absolutely.
So on that note, to celebrate the anniversary, the 50th anniversary, to celebrate the movie, to celebrate all things Elvis, you've got something special this coming year, right?
I do. So every year since 2012, of course not in the pandemic, I've produced Elvis tribute shows here in Southern California with my company, Elvis Show SoCal. And I bring in world-renowned Elvis tribute artists and create as close, you're seeing on the B-roll now, that's Dean Z, actually a California native, grew up in Lancaster, now lives in Branson, Missouri. That's video from our last show this past August, and he'll be back this August. We're gonna be in Redondo Beach at the beautiful Redondo Beach Performing Arts Center on August 19th. Tickets are already on sale. VIP sold out the first day.
Dang.
Because Dean Z is quite honestly the hottest ticket in the Elvis world right now, and the closest you're ever gonna see.
And this goes back to your whole thing about the West Coast view, East Coast view. You're pulling somebody from the East Coast, bringing him here. Why is that important to you to bring him on stage in Redondo Beach?
It's important to me because I want people to see as close to an Elvis concert as they could possibly see. We all know that Elvis has passed on as a human being. His spirit is still here, but he's passed on. So all we have are these tribute concerts. And I want people to see a concert not just of the jumpsuit era like you saw part of in that B-roll, but I want them to see all of the eras. Some people like the 1950s gold lame jacket. Some people like that black leather, especially the ladies out there, I think like the black leather. I personally love the jumpsuit era with the ALOHA and everything else. It was those pieces of art. The jumpsuits were pieces of art. And I want people to see what a legitimate Elvis concert is like and a respectful Elvis concert.
I love it. I love it. That's important, right? Especially after what we saw in that movie that's all over the place at this point. Okay, tell everybody where to find information about tickets and when the show is again.
Wonderful. It's Saturday, August 19th. It sounds like it's far away, but it's going to be here before you know it. You can visit our website, www.elvisshowsocal, that's Elvis Show, SOCAL.com. All ticket information is on there, including contact information for all of your questions and desires.
Nice. Okay, quickly, do you think he or the movie, they're going to win the Oscar?
If they don't, the Oscars are fixed.
Ooh, dang.
I'm calling it now, ladies and gentlemen. Come March, we're going to have Oscars in the Elvis house, y'all.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you for your passion, your dedication to bringing that real Elvis spirit to SoCal.
Thank you, and thank you. Thank you very much.
Eddie Stevens, thank you very much. Go check him out. Check out the show. I'm excited to see it myself.
You better be there.